to Twitch Presents. We are... What are we now? 3 episodes into our Twitch marathon. Three doctors even. Sorry. Yeah. Well, yeah. This many years. Many years have passed. Or have they?
We're nearly a decade into the series
already. Now, 10 years of Doctors.
Yeah.
I feel like I know so much more. Who do we have today? Who can help us learn more?
So we have some special guests again. We have Paul Cornell, writer of Doctor Who. Over this side, we have Billy Garrett John, part of the Review of Death.
The Review of Death. I've had a few of those.
The wonderful Katie Manning, who played Jo Grant alongside the third Doctor, John Pertwee, who we are talking about today.
Fantastic.
The second Doctor has been caught by the Time Lords. He called for their help, and they have exiled him to Earth.
Why have they done that?
Well, because he was messing around with travelling in time and getting involved in things that he shouldn't have.
That's what happens. He got in with the wrong crowd.
He did. And now he is exiled to Earth, and they've made him look like John Pertwee.
Oh, what? So they forced a regeneration?
They forced him to regenerate.
Oh, wow.
So he lands on Earth. The TARDIS no longer works.
Oh, really?
He's lost all memory of the dematerialisation codes. Can't get the TARDIS to go.
Oh, wow. Okay.
He is stranded on Earth. And
he comes out as Pertwee, does he?
He comes out as Pertwee.
So it's like stars in their eyes, like Tonight Matthew, where he just comes out. Do we see him regenerate?
No,
that's literally it.
The door's open in a field, and he face plants the field.
It must have been petrifying to work on this show, knowing that at any contract negotiation, they're like, we could just write you out. It's very easy for us to do. We just literally, the next episode, someone new.
Let's bring up a picture of the man himself.
There he is. Oh, it's very serious,
and that really is. And tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be
the world's coolest man.
He seems very, very Shakespearean in his kind of in his look. Though he looks very dramatic.
He is the hero of Doctor Who's.
Okay.
Whereas with Pat Troughton, he was more of the clown. John Pertwee, very straight. You knew that whatever was going on, he'd save the day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but he also did like to, every now and again, like he did in The Green Death, wanted to play some other slightly strange character, like the cleaning lady.
Of course.
Yes.
You know, he did have a lot of humour.
And he's got a comic background as well, so now and again you do see those elements come out of him.
Bessie, how dare you go gallivanting around like that? Are you sorry? Very well, I forgive you.
But I think generally, he's quite he's quite an obtuse Doctor in a way. There's some stuff that really does ruffle his feathers, which is quite nice, because a lot of Doctors don't tend to get as flustered a lot of the time as he can.
He's passionate.
I was just going to say, passion was one of the things that, that his Doctor came to. Also, it was his first very straight role. And so consequently, he actually took this very, very seriously. And in all honesty, when you're doing something like this, everybody wants to think that you're all giggling and having this, we're all playing tricks on each other in the street. You're doing some very, very serious work with a very serious time restriction. That, if you're not finished by 10 o'clock, the sprinklers were out. And that was it. Right, down tools, mate, everybody out, innit? So, you really had to focus and work hard, and he took this very, very seriously, and that's how you should take Doctor Who when you're actually working on it. Much as I'd love to always say that we were giggling and throwing it, we did do the odd naughty thing, which I might talk about.
Right. Exactly, yes.
But never in the studio.
Oh, even better. Right.
Well, not in the studio.
This is way better than I thought it was going to be.
He is working for the establishment. So he is now working for UNIT, United Nations Intelligence Task Force. It's a bit difficult for his Doctor because he's working for a paramilitary organisation. Obviously, the Doctor isn't really into violence. He does get at odds with different people, lots of bureaucrats and that sort of thing.
And that's the thing that's so wonderful about his character. He's got a real conflict in there, where he's a pacifist working for a paramilitary organisation. All of his close friends work in the army. They're all men of action and force and stuff.
So
and then
he's forgotten how to do Doctor stuff, but he remembers that he's a pacifist.
Well, he's still the same person. He's not forgotten. He's not got amnesia. It's just that certain elements of time travel and capabilities have been wiped by the Time Lords, and the TARDIS itself has been.
He's basically being punished. In a sense.
Yeah, totally.
And also, it was
exiled.
a perfect opportunity to create one of the most amazingly brilliant characters ever. And that's called the Master.
Oh, yes,
Oh,
of course.
Which,
I was
of
hoping you were going to
course-
say your character.
Well, I mean,
exactly.
yes.
Yeah.
There's that as well.
What a humble
right.
introduction.
So here's Caroline John here as Liz Shaw.
It's a very dark, very grim first season.
Yeah.
It's some good stuff in there,
Yeah.
but there's just not. There's a little more charm that arrives with Katie.
Yeah.
Which is not coincidental, obviously. But the series gets a little bit more magical, just 10% more whimsical again.
Yeah.
Well, I think also Caroline's character was written so that she was really smart, whereas Jo, luckily, when I came into the show, she was very trendy, she was very now, had absolutely no qualifications except she just was going to have a jolly good go. And she didn't like UNIT either, did absolutely nothing to do with UNIT. When they talk about being a member of UNIT, you just laugh. I mean, the woman could do escapology badly. But she was a sort of... But, it just needed to bring another element rather than somebody who was rather clever like the Doctor. You needed somebody who was going to grow up in front of your eyes, which is exactly what Jo did.
Yeah.
You watched her
absolutely.
go from being like this 19-year-old to getting married, which I think was kind of lovely.
Only person the Master's not been able to hypnotise. Jo
Yes.
Grant.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
She was
There we
so
go.
short-sighted she couldn't see around.
Yeah, you compare Jo from Terror of the Autons to the Green Death.
The Green Death. It's
incredible.
completely different character. Yeah.
And she had a few little ding-dongs along the way, which was another lucky thing that
It's an era of some great writing. There's
Yeah.
Malcolm Hulke, there's Terence Dicks.
Yes.
And notably, this is Doctor Who for the first time really with a continuing social conscience every time. This is 5 years of fixing the world because we're trapped in the
War
world.
was looked at
Yeah.
enormously.
God, yeah. And the apartheid was looked at in the Mutants. There's so
Absolutely.
much stuff in there. And I like the fact that Doctor Who has a social conscience. And I like the fact that with science fiction, you can take elements of our modern world, transpose it into another fictional universe, and actually look at it. And actually, it's almost like more of a microscope into our world than actually looking at what's going on around us. Because you can take it into a different context, and it just completely blows the whole thing apart.
Did they have sonic screwdrivers yet?
Oh,
So
yes.
John Pertwee's got a sonic screwdriver.
Oh, there we go. Is that
it's
one of these?
It's over.
Go on,
yeah,
grab
yeah,
it.
Which
yeah.
one is
Yeah,
it?
go on.
John's.
That is the one.
Oh, there you go. Looks like one of those fans you get when you're hot in the sun. That's good.
Give it a whirl. Go on.
I wish we'd had that kind of weather when we were working, that I would have needed some.
So, I mean, it's great. What do they do?
Open doors.
Explode minds.
They do,
Explode minds, yes.
They're very useful when you need something done.
Yeah.
I
It's
know
a nice
that
MacGuffin. So how long was Jo around for then?
So you did 3 years, wasn't it? 3 years?
I don't-
Middle 3 years.
Yeah.
How did you depart from the Doctor? Like what happened?
Oh, it's a long story. Look how long ago.
There was another man.
Another man.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
More
But
impressive
he-
than a Time Lord.
Yeah, but he was a younger version of the Doctor.
Jo actually says that Clifford reminds her an awful lot of a younger Doctor.
Okay.
And they go right off into the sunset, and they do lots of amazing things with
the Amazon.
fungus.
And yes, having an awful lot of children. So
So here's the whole unit family.
Yeah.
So we've got the Brigadier at the back, Mike Yates,
Benton.
Sergeant Benton, and then we have Elizabeth Sladen as Sarah Jane Smith, and she came on just for John's final
She
season.
really works so well with Tom.
With Tom, yeah.
You can see
Yeah.
the difference between, and that happens, it just happens. The chemistry that was perfect with her was with Tom.
Yeah.
Can I just talk about this lovely man in the background, Nicholas Courtney?
Of course.
Oh, yeah.
I was going to get to
absolutely.
it. Yeah.
He's the Doctor's opposing force. He leads UNIT, the military. He and the Doctor have what's initially quite a hard relationship, and then it softens and they become such lovely friends. He's a lovely character. He's there throughout Doctor Who. He pops up so often.
Just keeps going through it, doesn't he? I think it was during this time that he really came to the fore.
Yeah. Another part of the conflict with the Third Doctor is he's got this very close friend, but they are at loggerheads a lot. They've got very different morals and very different perspectives on how they view.
Well, Brigadier's
aliens.
grown up with army rules that if it moves and it might be an
Yeah.
enemy, shoot it.
Yeah.
First off,
man.
here is Roger Delgado as the Master.
Oh, is that the Master?
That's the Master.
Okay.
I mean, look at those eyes,
I know.
darling.
Yeah, he looks intent. So he's a Time Lord.
He's
Yes.
a Time Lord, yeah,
okay,
yeah, yeah.
but a bad un.
He's a bad one, yeah.
Well,
The lovely thing is he's charming.
Oh, God, yeah.
He's unbelievable. He was
Very
good,
suave.
but sort of went down the bad path. I mean,
Right.
that's why whenever there is an opportunity for him to kill the Doctor or for the Doctor to kill him, they never do.
Yeah, they were friends back on Gallifrey.
There was that respect. They were
One
like
took one
chess-
path, one took the other.
Yeah.
He really likes Joe Grant as well. He'll be all...
Yes.
I see you're here again, Doctor. And how are you, Miss Grant?
And I remember once Joe just turned around, he came into the room, she went, "Oh, shush."
Yeah.
And it was, and also when she fell over, she said, "Oh, I do hope your coccyx all right." There was, he was just one of the charming villain, everything you want him to be.
Autons.
yes.
We have one up there.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay, wow.
Up there.
Okay, so he's got half a hand, but is that a gun?
That's a gun.
A gun hand.
Yeah.
I've always wanted a gun hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to shake someone's hand. JK, I've got a gun.
Yeah.
I don't know what I would shoot them, but
No.
still, it'd be fun. Why do their faces look like?
So they are shop window mannequins.
Oh, they're mannequins.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah. They are controlled by a creature called the Nestine Consciousness that has an affinity with plastic and can control anything plastic.
How do they get the guns in their hands? Shop mannequins are built with guns in their hands.
Yeah, that's
Did you not know that?
Never. So they're mannequins with guns in their arms that have been brought to life by an alien
And of
consciousness.
course, they break out of the windows of the shops.
Yes.
They walk down the streets in 70s fashion, gunning people down.
Amazing.
The Silurians.
Oh wow! It looks like the guy who flew the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah. Yeah, so these aren't from outer space.
They're not from outer space.
No.
Are they from under the sea?
Whoa, you're getting close. So they are from underground. These
really?
are the original inhabitants of planet Earth.
Really? And
Yeah.
we drove them underground.
Well, no, their astronomers saw
Along
this
with the
thing
wormholes.
coming towards their planet and thought, blimey, we better go and hide.
Was
So
it
they
the
did.
Doctor?
No, it was
Oh.
the moon.
Oh, it was the moon.
And
Ah.
so their clock went wrong, and so they never woke up. And then a few of them started to...
I like days like that.
So then a few of them
morning.
start popping up.
If my alarm doesn't go off, I don't sleep in for millennia. But this sounds. So they are there. Did they look like this before they went subterranean?
Yeah.
Oh, they
this-
did.
this
Okay,
is-
fair
this
enough.
is-
So this is what life was, and so they went underground, and then we evolved. were created or something.
So to them, we are just
we're
apes.
aliens.
Yeah. We're just apes that have gotten ahead of themselves.
And they've
mean, they're
woken
pretty-
up and they want
they're
their planet
pretty
back.
It's like a
Azal.
satire or something. So what are they?
So that is a daemon from the planet Deimos.
Okay.
This is the monster that Joe Grant was going to sacrifice herself for
really?
the Doctor.
I was going to be sacrificed on the altar to
Yeah.
this creature with the horned head and
We have cloven
hoofed
hooves.
foot.
He does have
Yeah.
cloven hooves.
Oh, wow.
And he is a giant. He is
really?
huge in size to the
really?
point that there's a sequence where Benton and Yates are flying in their unit helicopter and they see the large cloven hoof footprints in the fields around the village. Yeah. It's quite Hammer horror.
Yeah.
A pre-runner to the blinking angel. Sounds
Weeping
like
Angel.
pub, doesn't it?
Blinking
I'm
Angel.
just nipping down to the blinking angel. Well, we had Bok, who was a little stone.
Well, let's see. Let's have a look at Bok.
This was also one that we had big problems.
wow.
Apart from the baggy tights, he was quite scary.
A stone gargoyle that has been animated. Yeah.
Okay, but moves when you don't look at it, or not.
It
that.
Just moves.
That was the greatest line, I think, that ever came out of our wonderful brigadier. And that was,
Shot for the wings there. 5 rounds rapid.
Boom. And
And
did it
that
do the
was
job?
it.
Oh,
It
yes.
didn't, unfortunately.
No, okay.
They had to get a
For a
bazooka.
bit.
Even a bazooka didn't do it.
Oh, really? What's he made of?
He was made of stone, but
Oh, but
because
it's explosive resistance.
well,
though.
he does shatter, but
right.
then he reforms again afterwards.
well, like
They just play the tape
Terminator.
backwards.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
favourites.
Wow. Oh, we got one up there.
We've got
Yes,
one up
we
there.
do.
Yeah,
I thought I
yeah.
recognised the face. They look like turtles and they're coming out of the sea, so I'm going to say they are mermen.
Well, they're called the Sea Devils.
Ah, sea devils, okay.
They are the aquatic
I
cousins
like how they're wearing
of
like
the Silurians.
fishing nets.
Yeah.
and when they went in the sea, the greatest threat to our universe slowly fell apart. You'd see a flipper floating, because it was a very cold sea, let me tell you.
You also see one of them floating off.
I know
Here we
There
are,
we are.
Katie, the Ogrons.
Ogrons. Are they ogres?
Well, they're like a sort of
they're a
simian
bit thick, actually.
Yeah.
henchman to the Daleks.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. They appeared a couple of times.
But I really liked them, and they were just a little bit thick, which made them really nice.
You have that sweet moment with one in Frontier in Space when you give one the banana.
Yes, that's right. Joe was giving them a banana.
Oh, that is nice. Did they like bananas?
Yes.
Was
Yeah,
that
he-
hugely
he-
culturally insensitive?
No, he ate it.
No, okay.
He
No,
enjoyed
no,
it.
they were very happy to.
Oh,
But I
good.
thought they were really good, and they sort of I think they've been sort of underused
They should come back.
discussed.
Yeah.
You know, as an alien. I thought they were like, sort of like, who?
Yeah, they're great.
Weren't they?
And then on the flip side of that, we have the next monster, which is the more regal draconian.
Yeah.
Not really a monster.
Wow.
They're like samurai.
Yeah,
really?
very respectful.
Yeah.
Real code of honour.
Oh,
Oh,
no,
yes.
again, not really a monster. But I thought it needed to be in there because it's such a lovable character.
Of course.
And I didn't know what a hermaphrodite.
Go on.
But I didn't know what a hermaphrodite was.
Oh, right.
that's-
So this is a hermaphrodite.
This is Alpha Centauri.
Hermaphrodite hexapod.
And
Alpha
John had
Centauri.
to keep, you know, because there was a lot of things I didn't understand back then. And John would always say, just right, I'll take it. And
I'd like to have heard that.
yes, there are stories I wish I could tell you, but they're so naughty. This was my pickled cucumber. I mean,
Yeah,
and
I can see
it
that.
looked a little phallic, so they whacked
Yeah.
a net curtain on it.
Terence Dick said on one of the DVDs that it looked like a giant dick in a curtain. Bless him.
Nice.
But,
It was sort of early days safe sex, wasn't it?
It's
Oh, don't
almost
worry,
been
he's got the net
sufficient.
on, darling. It won't.
Let's find out why I'm a hermaphrodite. At worst, I'll impregnate myself. So, yeah.
This character appeared twice during the John Pertwee era,
Okay.
but it actually made a cameo appearance in one of Peter Capaldi's stories
really?
last year, written by Mark Gatiss.
As a stunt penis in a scene. Don't worry, it wasn't mine. It was a hermaphrodite hexapod or whatever. Oh, cool.
There we are.
Do you know what this is?
No, I'd seen him, but I don't know who he is. Like,
him,
yeah,
right?
like he turns up from time to time.
the
doesn't he?
supermarket.
Yeah, like are they clones?
That's
Or-
right, yeah,
I'm trying
well
to remember
done.
what he like. He had a surprisingly normal voice.
Yep.
I always thought for like he just sounded like a bloke.
So, yeah, this is a Sontaran.
Okay.
Yep, so what he said is a clone species, they're warlike race.
I love Sontaras.
They're fantastic,
They're wonderful, and they're funny.
They are, they're great.
You know, they bring an element of humour.
I think certainly in the new series they're used much more as comic foil
Yeah.
than they were here.
Even the first scene with them here, our Sontaran land on Earth and come out and he plants a little flag,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
pops up and plays a little tune, which he stands there saluting at.
So the humour, I think, was already based
Yeah,
in
yeah,
there,
yeah.
wasn't
Yes.
it, Paul?
But yeah, they're bred for battle.
They're bred for battle, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so they've been in an eternal war with the Rutans.
I love hearing it explained. It all sounds...
It does.
I'm now more excited than I've ever been about Doctor Who. And it's a wonderful explanation that you're giving. Something I love about Doctor Who, over 55 years, has inspired so many wonderful people to go into directing, writing, acting, producing, journalism, sci-fi. So it's been probably, and I think Stephen Moffat said this, it may not have been the greatest show in the world, but it has inspired more people to go into their chosen careers. I feel very proud to have been a part of. And for me now, seeing all the new young people coming into it, look at you all and what you're doing, and the fact that we're having this conversation now, it really makes my little heart smile. It really does.
That's beautiful.
It's
And
Lovely.
a joy.
I hope I remain as humble for all the people who've been inspired watching this, who are now going to go out and watch the entire season now.
Yeah.
Well, how many seasons is this? How many years?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah.
5 years of Doctor Who.
Yeah.
That's a long one, guys.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. So thank you very much, guys.
Thank you.
I feel like I've learned even more than I would have
I
normally
have.
learned in this.
I've
So-
learnt a lot.
So we've learnt loads now. We're going to go watch this, and then next time people see us, what are we going to be talking about?
Well, we'll be talking about the fourth Doctor, Tom
Okay.
Baker.
Oh, I've heard of him.
You know of him. So,
Tom Baker. Okay.
Yeah. We'll come back to that very soon.